Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Glasses, and this is Films with Glasses. This is Malachi, and this is Chris. Way to almost knock over the $250 mic, Malachi. Chris, how's your day going?
It's going good, fella. How's your day going?
I despise you. I've
been waiting 24 hours to make that joke.
I know I'd go from
the movie today,
was
obviously...
it the past weekend that you guys saw this film for the first time?
Yes, obviously today, the episode that we're talking about is in fact Mr. Popper's Penguins. Obviously, that's what we're talking about.
No, but, so, you have Scorsese's three beautiful films. Like, these are the films that everybody talks about. You got Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and Goodfellas.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Yeah. And and Hugo.
Hugo.
You guys remember Hugo?
That's a book, yes.
The incredibly successful children's film Hugo?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we know about Hugo.
So Goodfellas,
So
right?
Hugo came out in 2009.
All right, hey,
Did it actually?
Focus.
No, but okay. So you guys saw Goodfellas for the first time over the weekend.
And
all in a group. We saw it with our good friend Ben.
As always, you forced us to watch a movie, so yes, continue.
Hey,
you always say that.
Willingly
no matter
that
how
movie.
good a film is, you will always say that I forced you to watch it. Why is that?
Because this is my job. If I don't do this, I'm on the street.
I pay him to be my friend.
Wait, you pay him? Where's my check?
Speaking of checks, Goodfellas was a financially successful movie.
No, but okay. So, what are your initial thoughts of Goodfellas as a whole?
I think it's a good fella. I think it's a real good fella.
It was a real good fella. I'm still waiting on the sequel, Better Fellas.
I'm still waiting on the sequel.
Great fellas.
Great. No, that's the third installment.
Is that the prequel?
It's Goodfellas, Goodfellas 2, Good Harder, and then Goodfellas 3, Fellas.
Imagine
fellas are back.
Imagine if they no, they made a direct DVD sequel to Goodfellas. Goodfellas 2, Gooder Fellas.
Gooder Fellas.
So
it's like the Marley and Me sequel.
Let's actually talk about the movie.
How do you make a Marley and Me?
Okay, so this movie, it was nominated for a bunch of Oscars, but it only won one Oscar. Guess who won it?
Tommy.
What's your guess, Malachi?
I don't know. I'm on the Wikipedia page.
Stop!
It's cheating.
No.
No, but you're right. It was Joe Pesci in his role as Tommy.
I'm a genius.
No, but the rumor that I've heard, and I don't know if this is exactly true, but apparently this is a thing that people say. Joe Pesci, he directed the scene in which the famous scene that he's in that everybody references the.
Do I look like a clown?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he apparently he went up to Martin Scorsese and he was like, "Hey, I'm real passionate about my anger towards other human beings. Can I please threaten him myself? And I want all artistic
I haven't
control
actually
over what happens.
I had never known what the context to that scene was, and I always assumed it was right before he kills someone.
It's a super like
joking scene.
No, it's a film that it's a scene that everybody parodies that scene. But like I remember like.
Do I look like a clown?
It was the perfect kind of atmosphere that you guys watched it in because whenever like you started off Goodfellas like and we like with just kind of making fun of it with like
100%.
It's like
my name is Gang Esther and I am a good fella. Watch me become the #1 mobster in America.
And then he slams the trunk and then Goodfellas appears and you're like, the meatball and
that's a spicy meatball.
And we're all busting out laughing because Italian racism is the funniest racism.
It's great.
but then that scene,
I disagree.
But then like 30 to 45 minutes into the film, that scene comes up and it is dead silence in the room. You guys like everybody is on the edge of their seats.
Yeah.
Like watch it. Like it is one of the most tense scenes in like the last like 30 years of cinema. I mean,
I get where you're coming from, saying that it's a tense scene. Honestly, I don't feel suspense or whatever because I know I ruin it for myself because I always think ahead as to how movies end.
You see, guys, I don't have empathy at
Yeah,
all
I
for
can't.
anyone.
Well, if we're gonna talk about the
You kept making fun
empathy.
of Scorsese's style, the style in which he directs. You were like, wow, he sure does like tracking shots of things.
there is no way I said that because
Yes,
I don't
you
know
did.
what
No,
a tracking shot
no,
is.
of like where the camera follows a character, and you were just like, wow, this is.
Yeah, he really likes following people. Martin Scorsese, professional stalker.
He makes a documentary like two documentaries in between each of his
Yeah.
actual films. So I get how he could maybe he is a real life stalker.
He thought he was actually filming Mr. Popper's Penguins again, and he got super confused. Wait, we're filming a mob movie? What do I do with the penguins? So
Put him in the background.
Wait,
no one will
wait,
know.
you're saying this isn't Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, the book?
What am I gonna do
with all these meatballs?
a mob movie. That's what we'll do.
We'll put them in the prison scene,
Yeah.
guys. All
right.
meatballs. But
So, speaking in terms as a professional mafia historian, I had to say that the mafia.
do we have a lower third for that? Chris Benson, professional mafia historian.
If we can get that up, please. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I honestly thought that the mob in that movie was running a shoddy operation.
It was horrible because so there are
I
basically
feel like that's what the
there
mafia
are
is like
five
in
rules.
real
there are
life.
five rules
rules
that
for
you
the
can't
mafia.
break. If you break them,
You're dead.
It's over
essentially.
for you.
Yeah.
And they broke all five
They broke
throughout
all
the film.
five, and nobody killed them. I mean,
Nobody
one of
killed
them
them.
died.
They didn't. Well, yeah, Tommy got.
Well, Tommy got whacked.
yeah, he got whacked.
But
And then Robert De Niro had a real emotional scene
Yeah.
where
Okay.
he knocks
Yeah.
over a face.
So there's rule number one is don't go against the family,
Which they did.
which they did. Rule number two, this is not necessarily in the order of how severe they are,
Yeah.
this is just the
Yeah.
order we remember them in. Rule number two, don't mess around with other people's women. They
Yeah.
didn't necessarily do that.
But they mess around. They
mess around
They
with
abandoned
other
their own
women.
That's
women.
actually
That's
all right, though. I was reading a
What
book.
was the
That's
line?
actually
It was
okay.
That's
it's okay
Fridays are-
so long
yeah.
as
It's
your
the-
wife doesn't make it a
you
problem.
heard it here first.
Once-
Adultery in the mafia. A-okay.
Well, no, because if the wife makes
please
it a
don't hurt
problem, she has all this dirt on you
Yeah.
and can just go turn everybody
Yeah.
in because she's met everyone.
So you got to do whatever you got to
So,
do.
yeah.
And then
Malachi, Chris, and Rhett were never seen again after the recording of the.
rule number three, don't do drugs. This
No
is the
dope.
only rule that's changed over time.
Yeah.
Because drugs have become such a profitable business.
Yeah.
Rule number four is don't.
You can't kill someone who's higher than
Can't
you.
kill someone that's higher than you.
Yeah, and without permission.
People
Without
dodge,
permission,
people try
which
to dodge
Tommy
this
did
rule.
not get
Yeah.
permission.
Which
He
Tommy
just-
had no permission. He just flipped and
Yeah.
beat the crap out of the dude until he was dead.
People
Go
really
get your shine box.
yeah.
they dodge this rule
Yeah.
a little bit, but more or less they follow it because otherwise the mafia would just fall apart.
Yeah.
And then rule number five is, and you distracted me from saying this one, so I
sorry.
100% forgot. You have to be Italian to join, to become
Yeah.
a made man.
Yeah.
But that rule has also changed
Yeah.
because there just aren't that many full-blooded Italians
Yeah,
left.
so Tommy in the film, he was a made man because he
Yeah.
was completely
But-
Italian.
But they screwed that up because I
Because
went and
they
looked
killed
up
him.
the timing. At that time, they had allowed anyone who could show Sicilian descent
Yeah.
into the
so
mafia.
really, what's
so they,
his,
they
what's his
messed it up. a
main
little.
character,
well, no,
Reggie?
yeah, no.
What's the main character's name? Reggie? Roy? Is it
It's
an
not
R?
Reggie.
Henry.
It's Henry.
Yeah, he
Henry
should've-
could have
So,
become
no,
a made
but
man.
Jimmy Conway and Henry Hill, they couldn't. They in the film they said they couldn't be made men because they came from Irish descent as well as Italian descent. Even though Henry's mother was Sicilian.
Oh,
and they
his
depicted
mother.
that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
His mother was Sicilian.
They have to
but he
have
had
Italian dads. That's
but-
the rule.
Yeah.
If your dad is full-blooded Italian, you count as full-blooded Italian. in the
Yeah,
mafia,
yeah.
And you can join. Fun fact: I could join the mafia if I really felt like it.
If on a rainy day.
Yeah,
you're
if
like,
on a
yeah.
rainy day.
Yeah.
No,
Whereas Rhett and I could just become associates.
Yeah, you can be associates.
Because
We can be
I'm
your best
Irish
buds.
and
Yeah.
you're Jewish, so.
I see one of our producers beating his head against the table.
Did you just throw a Bible
Yeah,
at
I
me?
threw a Bible at you, Malachi.
All right, so let's actually.
So
Okay,
glad, I'm
so-
so glad we filmed these with
plots
cameras
about
now.
Okay, so so the moral of Goodfellas, and this is why. Okay, so The Godfather, it's a very beautiful film. But
What's the moral?
but
Where's
there,
the lesson?
But there are
Where's
two
the merchandising
But there are several
opportunity?
flaws with The Godfather. I don't even know if I could call them flaws, but there are several things that I don't like about The Godfather that I love about that Goodfellas does right.
Yeah.
First off, The Godfather is really slow. It's
Yeah,
3 hours
100%.
long,
Yeah.
and it feels 3 hours long.
I mean, but this was 2.5
I had to watch
hours
that
long.
over the course of
And-
like 2 weeks in half-hour increments.
in Goodfellas
This is only half
and in Goodfellas, it kind of I like the way that it portrays the mafia. Whereas in the first Godfather, they don't even say the word mafia. Let alone they always depict it as this like it's based upon honor when really, as you
not.
see in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
It's not honor isn't very important if
No.
you like money. If
Yeah.
you if that's your goal in the end.
Well, if they were running a better operation, those guys, the
Yeah.
movie wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
made because they would have
that's
disappeared.
that's the way
Yeah.
that this. You guys were saying like, oh well, if they actually just followed those 5 rules, they wouldn't have.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
Like-
have got caught. And I said, well, yeah, that's what it shows. If
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the way that organized crime works.
You gotta
if you
follow
get
the
greedy,
rules.
you will get
Yeah.
caught immediately. And I feel a little.
Rule number 6: you always have to kick 90% of your profits up to your
Yeah.
superiors. They didn't do that because they were also running drugs, which is
Yeah,
against the
so they were running the cocaine business out of Pittsburgh
Yes.
that the boss didn't know about, so they were able to just keep all those funds between
because drugs
themselves.
were against the rules.
Against this is no.
No,
Big
drugs.
no. I think our producer is trying to figure out how to get audio only, so you never have to stare at our
No,
beautiful
that looks
faces
like a
again.
PayPal.
Yeah, no, they're working around. Are you
going
on
on?
GoFundMe on the teleprompter?
You heard it here
my
first.
Legos. I gotta.
Okay, so let's talk about the
Are
plot.
you illegally gambling?
Let's talk about the plot. What's the plot?
I love
Somebody-
the cast in this, by the way. We should mention that.
Okay, mention
so,
the cast.
So Ray Liotta, who I love how it goes full circle. Everything that we mentioned in our B movie.
I was
recording.
literally listening to that last night. and
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
was
say,
too. I was walking
He's
my
not
dog.
a good fella. He's a bad fella.
So Ray Liotta has only been in Goodfellas, the
Yeah.
B movie. Like,
Yes, two movies that are exactly the same.
My God,
Wait,
when
no.
I think
Let me-
movie, I
let me
think
think.
Goodfellas.
there's like a Mystic River movie and then like a Hannibal Lecter film that
Yeah.
no one's seen those though. It's a B movie in Goodfellas.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all
it.
it is. And okay, so you have Robert De Niro, legend.
Yeah.
See, Robert De Niro is
love
one of
Robert
the
De Niro.
greatest, even in all of his horrible films that he's
Yeah.
been in, like The Comedian, which came out recently, which I
And-
saw
Wait, no, that's
for some
Al
reason.
Pacino. That's not Robert De Niro.
I can't do that one Al
Or was he?
Pacino
Who
quote
was
from
in
Heat.
Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Because this is a
Who was in
What is-
Alvin and the Chipmunks?
yeah,
that
wasn't
was
somebody-
that was the guy from the Kevin Smith movies. What's
Yeah.
his name?
Oh,
Colin. What's his name?
I'll look
Lee
it up.
Jason? What? Jason Lee.
Jason
all right.
Lee was in.
I won't look
Yeah,
it
that
up.
was he was in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
What?
Anyway, Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
who was
Joe
also
Pesci.
in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Really?
No.
Wow,
No,
way to just lie to
so
everybody.
that's the main cast.
that
That's the
listed
top
on his
billing.
page?
You have Ray Liotta,
probably.
Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and you also have a good kind of my favorite cast member in the entire film is Martin Scorsese's mother, who plays Tommy's mother.
Oh, yeah.
She,
Jason Lee was also in The Incredibles.
no one cares.
All right.
Oh, he was the
No,
villain.
no one stop.
Sorry.
This is no longer a Goodfellas podcast.
We'll
we
do-
are
yeah.
switching to
Jason Lee.
Jason Lee.
Okay, no, but my favorite runner-up to one of my favorite cast members is Repo Man guy.
Oh yeah, Paul
Paul
Sorvino.
Sorvino.
Oh, what a great guy.
Yeah, no,
I love
he's
Paul
he
Sorvino.
he is a very Italian kind of guy. What's he all? He's in Repo Man.
He's in Repo Man,
Goodfellas. Let's
Goodfellas,
check.
and then a lot.
He was Juliet's dad in the Leonardo DiCaprio
in the-
Romeo and Juliet movie.
Okay, so now that
and
we
then
know-
that's it.
and that's all he did.
now that we know the players, should we run down the plot real quick?
Yeah, okay.
All
we
right.
should. So
Plot summary.
but
fine.
All right. Let me see if I even remember how the plot goes. Little
You kept
kid.
complaining about it every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
You were
though.
like, why is this so interesting?
why is this so good?
Little kid gets beat by his dad and ends up joining. This is super quick summary. Little kid gets belted literally by his dad.
No.
Ends up joining the mafia
wanna know-
because he had the postman strangled.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
That is I love how funny this film is, like how unconventionally funny, because every like you know there's the phrase.
Funny?
I
There's
think
the,
he is
the
calling
way that
leading
the way
kids
that
funny.
humor. It's a very darkly humorous film. Like Louis C.K. has always like in interviews he has said like Raging Bull and Goodfellas are two of the funniest films ever made, and we were laughing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you
But
can't
'cause
say
we
that it
were all
wasn't a
making
funny
jokes
film.
at the same time.
No, but like me and Ben, I think it was only me and Ben who were laughing at the dad taking off the belt, beating beating
horrible.
That's
Henry Hill
not
scene.
like a funny
It was
thing.
hilarious.
it's- no,
because the way that
it's
it was
not.
presented.
That
in the,
stuff
No,
happens.
stop. No, the way that it was presented. Yeah, that's why it's no. The way
That's not why it's funny.
the way that it was presented.
Break it up.
Hey, don't,
No,
don't touch the mic.
The way that it was presented in the film with the narration, it was he was like, "You haven't been in school in a while," you know, and then he just kind of he starts, you know, the scene plays out how it does naturally, and then Ray Liotta all of a sudden on the narration, "Oh yeah, so this happens sometimes, whatever." And then me and Ben start laughing, and you guys are looking at us in horror. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, that's a kid getting beat by his
okay,
father.
yeah,
dude.
okay.
That's not cool.
different
Rest-
strokes for
rest-
different folks.
That first,
It's just horrible.
that's not at
no.
all applicable to this situation. Okay,
No, but okay, let's talk
he
about some of the.
joins
yeah,
the
yeah.
mafia, and no, he becomes like an associate.
Yeah,
as
You
he
guys
gets
are making me
older.
look like a horrible person.
You are.
He starts
Yeah.
doing actual mafia stuff. He's like burning cars.
Yeah, he broke some windows, burned some
introducing,
cars.
shaking hands, making friends, beating people up for
And-
money.
and then he
Another
meets-
one of my
he
favorite
meets
like
his wife.
No,
Oh, well,
he meets Tommy
he meets Tommy.
while
Another
they're
one of
still
my-
kids and they start
I
selling
don't know if you
cigarettes
caught
together.
this so much, but one of my favorite lines in like the whole is the narration from Ray Liotta when he blows up the cars and he goes, "There were these guys who helped my mother carry the groceries, and they did it out of respect." And that's a good like illustration of wow, that seems really cool being in the mafia. But then as the movie goes on, you're like, oh
The
no.
mafia is a super high risk, high reward.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, continue.
Makes friends with Tommy, and they start doing
Yeah,
more
when they
mafia
were
stuff.
real young.
Then eventually, as he gets older, he starts actually, like meeting. He burns down a bar because he needs to make some cash off the insurance, and then
Are
he
we
meets
just gonna
his.
skip over the part where he almost goes to jail as a kid?
Oh, he almost goes
Oh
to jail
yeah,
as a
no,
kid.
but he
'Cause
doesn't rat.
He doesn't
doesn't
rat
rat.
on anyone,
Yeah.
and that's why the mafia's like, "Wow, you're such a
And
great
then
guy."
it does the full
You're a
turn at
good
the end.
fella.
You're a good fella.
Then it does the full turn at the end where
he rats on the
does
mob.
Where
rat.
he
rats
rats on
everyone who
everybody.
Spoiler
ever knew.
alert! Spoiler
Oh yeah,
alert!
you should probably go watch the
They
movie
know how this
and,
works.
and then
They-
come back because
Whoops.
we just kind of spoiled
Yeah.
the end. That's his bad. That's on him. Blame that one. Yeah.
I was watching the preview and it was
Yeah.
just.
So, oh god, what else happened? He meets his wife, and his wife's pretty chill with the whole mafia thing because he kind of hides it at first.
Yeah.
And then
But
eventually,
then she figures it out.
No,
She's
he
like,
said,
"Oh, that's
he says I
Yeah,
work in construction.
I'm a
What was the
union
thing
guy.
that you said
Yeah.
about me about No, that's what Malachi.
That's what Malachi
Malachi
said.
actually
Every
works for
time we ask him, he goes,
I
we
actually
go, what's
work
your job?
construction.
And he says, I work in construction. And after we watch the movie, I piece it together and I go, Malachi's an organized crime!
No, but you actually do work for
I
construction.
actually do
So
construction." So
then he meets his wife.
The
She's
same
cool
way
with it.
I'm a coupon salesman.
He's
we all
cool.
know
Which
you
I
really.
am a.
We all know what you really do.
Hey, the wife's cool with it, and things are going good for a while. He's actually
Yeah.
making money in the mafia. He's rising through the ranks. Then things start to go downhill because Tommy goes absolutely bonkers
Yeah.
and starts just indiscriminately killing fellow mobsters, whether he has permission.
Did he-
You
whoever
want to know
they
what's
are.
interesting about Tommy?
What?
Tommy in real life? No, so Henry Hill, the real life Henry
Yeah.
Hill, has come forward and say his character was 99.9% like
Accurate.
correct.
Accurate.
Like that is
Oh,
what he
wow.
was actually like. But the thing that he didn't mention was that the real Tommy was like 6'5" and he was huge. He was like 300
he
pounds.
wasn't short
What?
at all.
Which makes sense when you see like little Joe Pesci beating the crap out of people.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
so that guy was like huge, and he was okay.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense as like
crazy.
how his personality would have formed,
Yeah.
how he would have got this this superiority complex. You know.
Yeah.
I think it would have been funny if they made what if you do Goodfellas, but because you're saying that the actor wasn't representative to the actual person, Goodfellas 2, they replace all the characters with kids.
No, Al Pacino replaces Jimmy Conway as like the. It's like I'm the same character, guys.
All right. So then things start going bad. Tommy starts killing people.
Did Tommy kill the made man first or the one kid first?
The one kid first.
Did he
and then
kill the
made
kid
man.
first?
Yeah.
No, he killed.
I think he killed the made man.
He killed the
He
made
did,
man,
he
which
did.
is
Yeah.
the opening of the film.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, so Tommy, he has like a temper tantrum, but he was kind of being a jerk, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Then he kills a kid.
Then,
Just
then he
who's-
shoots the kid in the foot,
yeah.
and a week
Yeah,
later
yeah.
he kills him.
Yeah, which is a very
Yeah.
I've listened to the commentary before. Martin Scorsese, he said like this is the point in the film where where he wanted to show them these aren't good guys.
Yeah.
These are
not good fellas.
These are
That's
bad fellas.
That's the turning point of the film when you realize that the friends that you've been along with the entire time are horrible people.
I'm coming to that realization right now.
Okay, so what were we?
Cut the commercial. So the rest of the movie, things just go downhill as fast as
Yeah.
possible. He gets a girlfriend, and the girlfriend starts cooking.
While he has a wife
While
and
he has a
kids.
wife and kids, but that's pretty standard in
Yeah.
the mafia. He starts cooking cocaine, which is against the rules. He gets sent to prison.
No dope.
Yeah, he
No.
gets sent to prison
No
on
dope.
what charge?
He was. What happened?
Oh, he dangled the guy in the lion pit, and the
Oh yeah,
guy's
and then
sister.
and then the guy's sister,
ratted
who
him
was
out.
a journal, who
Yeah.
was a secretary
Yeah.
for the who was a like a journalist for the
No,
the
they can't see
FBI.
that.
All right, I gotta make a bigger.
Yeah, she ratted on everyone, including her brother,
Yeah.
who was involved
Yeah.
with the mafia.
Yeah.
And so that's how they all got
Yeah.
caught. And I love it's iconic in Goodfellas, the illustration of the prison of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
how the
That's how
line
it
about
was,
like.
yeah.
Like when you imagine prison, you imagine like what happens in old movies where it's like a bunch of guys behind bars, but it wasn't like that for the mafia.
Yeah.
They
No.
were they had
They
their
just-
own little.
yeah,
they smuggled so much stuff in. They
Yeah.
just like cooked food. They had nice dinners.
They had
and-
spaghetti dinner. What was it? Every Wednesday or something?
Mamma mia.
They had
I think so,
spaghetti
yeah.
dinner every
Spicy
Wednesday.
Italiano dinero.
Like, and they just bring bottles of wine in
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
just whatever
yeah,
they wanted. And they had like nice soft beds and all
And then,
sorts of
Yeah,
and
great
then what
stuff.
happens is he starts dealing drugs inside the prison.
Yeah, from inside
From-
the
That's how he
prison.
gets into
Yeah.
the drug
Yeah,
business.
and then he
then-
gets out.
he's
His
selling
wife's
pills.
super angry because
That's what ultimately ruins his life.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
right.
That is the
Drugs
that is-
are bad.
He was ruining his life the whole throughout
Yeah.
the entire film, and then
Yeah.
that is like the
Because
initializing.
then he starts using the drugs. He gets
out.
out of prison. He starts using the drugs and still doing them. Everything's going downhill. His wife is hating him and also using the cocaine too. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Because she looks
Yeah,
at the end of the
she
movie,
was-
she
she
looks
was
like a
using
crack
cocaine
addict.
as well.
No, she was just a mess. Like from
think she was
everything.
just a mess?
Yeah, she was
Okay.
a mess.
I'm pretty sure she.
Because
think so, too.
A little
through
bit.
all the did you
He did the nose tap.
through all the abuse that she's been
Yeah.
through
Well, yeah.
from Henry.
She went through a lot.
Like she loves this guy,
Yeah.
but yet like she knows that that he's out with some
He's
girl
not a good
every
fella.
night.
Not
That
a
he's out with some
bad
girl every
fella.
night, and then
Yeah.
he's in some
Yeah.
bad stuff, and every time he convinces. Oh, the gun scene. You remember the?
Yeah, the-
Oh,
the
yeah.
wife
That is,
tries
that
to
is
kill
the
him.
true breaking point of his wife.
And then-
when he's sleeping, and then he wakes up with his wife pointing a gun right to his face.
Yeah.
Which the mistake that I always see in that scene is on different shots you see a different gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
is it?
it's such a well directed scene that
Yeah.
you don't even notice. But it's So yeah, that really
And
illustrates
then-
how much
yeah.
crap that she's been through.
So he deals the drugs. He gets in trouble. He can't go to the mob for help. I think he gets thrown in prison again, right? And then he gets out
he
again.
he gets caught with he gets caught again, like a helicopter. There's the
Yeah.
whole
no,
aspect of the
no.
scene
He
where
gets
the
caught. He has
helicopter-
to go to the mafia for help, and the guy gives him like $38,000 and
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
"Get out
Yeah.
of here, we'll kill you."
That was Jimmy Cohn. That was
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And then
No, that was Ralphie or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever his name is.
they're all named Paulie and
Paulie,
Ralphie
that
and-
was his name,
Paulie.
Paulie. Yeah. And then he keeps dealing drugs. He doesn't get out, and then he gets caught by the DEA, right? Yeah, Drug Enforcement
Yeah.
Agency.
Yeah.
He gets eventually. He
who
gets
were
into-
played by real
Yeah.
DEA agents.
Eventually, he gets put into witness protection, And that's just, and then he rats on everybody, and then
rats
he
on
has to live a
everybody.
normal.
And
his
then the
punishment-
ending shot of the film is
Just him
is
in, like, a suburban house.
and then Tommy's character Joe Pesci like shooting into the camera, and then film ends and the soundtrack too. I should say I love the soundtrack. And that's pretty much Goodfellas.
So
That's it.
well, wait, we gotta do final opinions.
Final opinions.
Final.
It was a
opinion,
good movie.
Final opinions.
Do you want me to? I already.
Honestly,
You guys are just gonna push me more and more and more.
I give Goodfellas 4 spaghetti dinners out of 5. I think is my rating. For
I think
this
I'd give
movie.
it 4.5 spaghetti.
I
Or no,
think-
4 spaghetti dinners and a side of breadsticks.
I give it that.
This
I
is
give
one
it
of the
that.
this is one of the films which I love it when this film doesn't isn't afraid to be imperfect. Like a lot of films that I love, which allows it to be creative and compelling. But it is historically accurate at the same time.
Yeah.
That is one of the most important aspects to Scorsese in the direction. So thank you guys for joining us.
Tune in next time, folks, when we'll be discussing Plan B
It's not happening.
or Mr. Popper's Penguins. We haven't decided.
Neither of those are happening.
Yeah.